Hadn't done a talkie video in a while, so I thought I'd do one and go over some more old school, obscure, oddball baits that are effective now as they were 40, 50 years ago. Manufacturers quit making them because they got to pump out new stuff. They got to keep you buying new stuff. The new stuff, ain't any better than the old stuff, but people get all stocked up with old stuff and quit buying tackle. Well, and them tackle companies, they just dry up and die, and it's all about the bucks. So they're going to keep pumping stuff out, try to come up with different ways to hype it and promote it, and make you believe that it's better than anything that's ever been made before, which is a bunch of crap. But anyway, we'll start. Here's something that a lot of people probably have never seen before. A floating rattle trap. See, it even, whoops. Oh, get myself unhung. See, it even says floater on it, but it's a rattle trap. This thing here, I forget the name of it, but it's a weedless frog. I've actually caught fish on this thing before. I got 40 years ago, I caught fish on this thing. Maybe longer than that. Probably 45. A big pond, big lake. It's too big to be called a pond. A big lake, a private lake that me and my brother-in-law used to fish. We'd get up around the stumps and crap up in the upper end, and I actually caught fish on that crazy thing. And there was some talk on a podcast last night about Johnson silver minnow. Well, there it is. I've got one somewhere even way bigger than this. This one's about 3 inches long. I think I got one that's like 5 or 6 inches. It's a huge thing, but I can't put my hands on it right now. But you get the idea. That's a wire weed guard. A lot of people used to put pork frogs on them. Plastic trailers like big twin tails or something like that, or big grubs, whatever they can fit on there. But there's that one, and then there's these. That's a black finish that's about wore away, and then a silver and a gold. There was, I don't know where this is either, but I think it was a Bassmaster Classic one on a spoon. It was a spoon, and somebody took the front spinner combination off of a snagless alley and put it on the front of a spoon. And I think it was Bobby Murray or Billy Murray, one of the Murray boys. And I think they won a friggin' classic with it. If not a classic, they at least won a big tournament with it. But so anyway, that's the old Johnson silver minnow. This is not really old, but it's probably something a lot of people hadn't seen. It's a big old Blue Fox Vibrax spinner. It's supposed to, you see that gearing in there, those notches, it's supposed to kind of counter rotate and keep it from twisting your line, but I don't trust it, so I rig it with a ball bearing swivel anyway. Another crazy thing called a sputterfuss, a jitter stick rather. Whoops, come back here. Dadgummit. It's got a spinner on the back, got a propeller on the back, and like a jitterbug on the front, but it's elongated. I've never really used it much before, but if you want to run these things too fast, they kind of blow out, and if you don't run them fast enough, the propeller don't turn. This was not a really well thought out lure. Now this thing here, it looks like a buzz bait with nothing on the back of it. But if you see this little contraption right here, what that's for is you take a rattle trap and you hang it on there. It's hard to do and hold this. And you throw it, and you've got a buzz bait with a rattle trap hanging on the bottom of it. Now obviously this is a larger than average rattle trap, which I like these big traps, these big lipless crankbaits. I really like them. But that's an oddball thing. And they've got another version of this that's even got a longer piece on the back of it. But it is, you got like a buzzbait coming through the water, and then you got a rattle trap down below it. So you're making a hell of a lot of racket with this thing. All right, this is God, I'm gonna need a tetanus shot before this is over. This is called a Zaragoza. It's made by Hedden. It's basically a jointed jerkbait. It's a little aggravating to fish because it has a really bad tendency for this to come around and this back hook get caught up in the line. So you gotta really mind your business when you're fishing this thing. But it's Hedden by the same people. It's called a Zaragoza, the same people that made a Zara spook. But it's a unique little deal. This is an old Rapala crankbait called a Fat Rap. This is a size 7. They got a smaller one than this, but it's balsa. I did my thing to it. I drilled it, put a rattle in it, so I wanted it. Really, it doesn't really rattle much because it's got a little glass rattle in it, but it's made out of balsa, so it's a real good summertime crankbait because it pops up so fast, so buoyant. Caught a lot of fish on these things. I need to go back to using them. And this thing is called, I think Cordell made it. It's called a Wally Diver. Just an elongated crankbait. I've caught fish on Lanier on this thing many, many years ago, and I cannot keep a bait in my hands right now. But it's got a little weight in the lip. It was designed to be a walleye bait, but I can personally attest that bass like it too. All right, what else? I'm a fan of big spinner baits. This is the big inline spinner. So it's a musky bait, but I've caught bass on it. But it's got the monstrous treble hook, so you got to watch where you throw it. You can't throw it around wood, you can't throw it around grass. But in open water, it'll flat catch a fish. And it's got 2 big counter rotating. These are about number 8 blades. Like I say, it's a musky bait, but it'll catch a bass. Something you're not going to see anybody else using. What else we got? We covered the frog. Oh, we got mail call today. Got some new toys. This is just a balsa square bill, a Bagley's. But it's just a little square bill, but super buoyant, which is what I'm going to like about it. It's silent, no rattle, but it's a little, not horribly priced little crankbait. Square bills are getting to be more and more part of my arsenal. I lost a freaking monster on the square bill about 2 weeks ago. Had him right at the net. He went one time and threw it, and broke my little black heart. Now here we got something else. This is Rick Clunn's Japanese collaboration, whatever you want to call it. This is a little bit bigger square bill. It's called an Ichikawa, but it's also called a King Kong. And the reason I found these is I was scanning eBay looking for King Kongs. This popped up and I went, ooh, that looks cool. But it's a pretty hefty size square bill. Now Rick Clunn's instructions are, when you fish this thing, is to wind the snot out of it just as fast as you can. I ain't gonna do that. I'll wind it a little fast, but I'm not gonna just burn it, because you run that thing into a crack and you may not get it back. So I kind of like to feel my way along with these square bills, bumping them off a cover and whatnot. But I had a couple of them already, I just hadn't thrown it, but they had this one on there. It was such a good price. It was a steal. I mean, I got it for like $10, so I had to jump all over that. So that was the other part of the mail call today. The Bagleys, the Ichikawa, and here we go. No, well, I'll just be dadgum. Here they are. I did a little thing on this the other day, the Vibrabat, the lure that I had literally 60 years ago. I bought one, it was black, no, it was chartreuse. I wanted it, so I painted it up a little bit. Got a little glitter on it, a little touch of chartreuse. There's a little bit of blue in there, you can't really see it. But it's got 3 holes, and each one gives a different action. I really hadn't played with it much, because up until the other day, I hadn't really thrown one in 60 years. But most baits go side to side this way. This one has a kind of an open. It kind of reminds you of a porpoise tail that's horizontal, and how a porpoise, you know, does its tail. It kind of does like that instead of everything else doing like that. It looks really crazy in the water. But I painted it up, sharpened up the hook, put a clip on there so I can play with the. You're going to have either a split ring or a clip on there anyway, because you tie your line in there and it's just going to cut it. So you either got to have a split ring in each hole or a big dual lock snap like this, which is what I'm using. But I'm going to catch fish on this thing this year if I can manage to fish some. The weather is just so horrendous lately. I fished less this year than I have probably any year in my life. Between doctor's appointments, which there's been at least 50 of them this year, between doctor's appointments and the weather either being stupid cold back in January, or being this time of year, you got your choice. Do you want to dive a heat stroke, or do you want to dive a lightning strike maybe? It's just, you know, like I say, it's just thunderstorms everywhere, every afternoon. Just pop up here, there, and yonder. Vicious. We had one pop up here the other day, knocked our power out for about 3 hours. And Glenn Burns, the weatherman that retired from Channel 2, has said, if you can hear thunder, you are close enough to be struck by lightning. That's all he had to say to me. My mama didn't raise no fool. Well, actually, she did. It was my brother. I've lived this long. I'm not going to gamble and do something stupid like go out and fish in a thunderstorm. I just ain't going to do it. Or I don't want to go out like next week. It's going to be like 98 degrees one day. Heat index is probably going to be well over 100. And I saw the talk about the National Professional Fishing League tournament up on Lake Eufaula. So some of those guys just about overdid it and got overheated. You know, you can die from a heat stroke. You can die from a lightning strike. I'm going to try to avoid both. Some of you younger guys that think you're invincible, yeah, well, you may find out you're not. Anyway, let's see, the obscure stuff. The old Rebel bombers. 6 and 7A bombers. 45, 50 years old, they will catch a fish today just like they did 50 years ago. I caught one on one pretty much, let's see, here it is right here. I caught a 7.5 pounder on this. I think it was last year. So yeah, they work, just nobody throws them. The old Rebels, like an old Rebel Humpy. Old Rebel deep wears, all those plugs will still catch fish. But you know, they had to take them out of production because they had to put something else in production because they had to get you to buy something else. You know, a lot of guys have been fishing for 30, 35, 40 years. They just, you know, that don't know any better, they just keep buying the new crap that's basically the same as the old crap. Yeah, it works. Does it work any better? Nope. Just costs more. And you got to buy more tackle boxes. Let's see, I think I'm about to wind this up here. And like I said, you want to talk obscure? This is no secret. This has been my livelihood for. I mean, this has put the fish in the boat for me. I mean, I run it with a number 7 or number 8 willow leaf blade. I run it with a number 8 Colorado blade, double Colorado, all different color. You know, this one weighs about 2¼ ounces. They were talking about night spinner baits the other night, having, you know, like one big single blade and having to slow roll it. I don't want to slow roll anything. I can fish this thing 20 foot deep and wind it Just wind it like I normally do. It's gonna, once you get it down there, it's gonna stay down there until the pressure from the line starts bringing it back up. You know, I've caught fish 15 feet deep on this thing with no problem, and I've caught fish in 1.5 feet of water on it. You know, if I'm going to fish that shallow, I might drop, you know, I might lighten it up to 1.5 ounces, but that's not a problem either. But big blades, big spinner baits, any bait for that matter, the closer you get it to the fish, the more fish you're going to catch. Man, that's just logic. That's not an opinion. That's not debatable. That's just, you know, if you can't get behind that, boy, you got a problem. I mean, you know, big fish didn't get that big by chasing something down. You know, you get it down closer to them, and they'll you know, they'll eat the hell out of it. Little fish, I caught a brim on this thing the other day. I caught a yellow bass on this thing the other day. I've caught catfish on it. I've caught gar on it. I've caught white bass. I've caught, what else have I caught? I've catfish. Somewhere I got a video of me catching about a 10-pound catfish on one of these things. There ain't much of this swims that ain't bit this thing at one time or another. But like I say, I forget to count exactly, 420, somewhere in there, bass over 5 pounds on the big heavy spinner baits. Not just spinner baits. Spinner baits altogether, the count goes way on up. Because I used to use in the grass over at Wise, I used to use a little 1/4 ounce bush hog spinner bait with like a number 4 blade on it in that grass. And we just slaughtered them, sometimes 30, 40, 50 a day. But you can't fish that thing deep. You can this. And nobody sells these. I guess that's why nobody uses them. Which, you know, whatever. But, oh yeah, I caught a 16-pound hybrid on one of those. I almost forgot about that. That was pretty special. And here's one more. People have seen this before. This is the Hester Fishing Monster Shad. And just to show you how unpicky bass are, this thing looks like Stevie Wonder painted it. I mean, it's and then look at this. That's where I broke the lip off and used JB well to put the lip back in there. I caught 4 bass over 7 pounds on this thing last year after I repaired it, and it looked like this. I mean, spending, God, upwards of $100, $200, $300. I mean, I heard a guy spending $1,000 on a swim bait. That's just stupid. And if it pisses somebody off, I don't care, but that's just stupid. I got 25 bucks in this thing. Then I've got my King Kongs that, you know, like I say, they're never over $32 on a lure. If you feel like you got to have it, well, whatever. Oh, here's a wacky buzzbait. Somebody gave me this thing as a present a long time ago, and I was like, oh God. And didn't want to hurt their feelings, so I used it a time or two and caught fish on it. Wacky looking thing. But these double-bladed buzzbaits, they will catch fish. Oh, here's another oldie goldie. One of the first, God bless, talk about butterfingers. The Bayou Boogie. I got bigger ones too. Been around about 50 years. Got a good rattle in it. It'll catch fish. What else we got? I was gonna, oh yeah, some crazy topwater plugs. I think this is called a Nippaditty. I got a smaller version of it too. I played a little bit with it last year, but just the topwater bite really wasn't happening the days I played with it. Also, if you got to really tinge your line, or your line will get caught around that prop, I took a piece of the little tube, the spray nozzle off of a WD-40 can, cut it off about that long, and threaded the line through it. That helped a little bit, but that's not one you see every day. And we got this front runner situation, which I'm noticing that since I talked about it, I guess it was 4 years ago, first live well I was ever on, I pulled one of these out. You spook, you tie a line about 12 inches, 14 inches, whatever, from here Your line from your reel goes to that tie right there in the front. All right, then from this one, you drop back however long, 12, 14, 16, 18 inches, whatever you want to do. And then you tie to here. So you've got that line there. Now, if you ever try to use one of these, and this is great because it will get that competitive thing going, because it gives the illusion that the spook is chasing this. And, if one of them thinks it can beat another one out of a meal, that gets them fired up. Now, this is a junior spook, and that's the bigger front runner. Now, you can also go, this is the big spook, and do that. But whatever line you tie between these two, I would make it very heavy. I've stepped up to 50-pound braid because I had 20-pound mono broke. I had two bigs pile on it at Varner one day. They pulling against each other. They broke the 20-pound line. I got the fish that was on the front runner. I caught him, but the other fish, he got away and he finally threw the spook. So I got my spook back, but I lost the fish. So then I went to 30-pound braid, and on Alatoona one day I had two big hybrids get on it. They broke it. So I use 50-pound braid now, and if they can break that, well, more power to them. You can't win them all, but they're making some things similar to this now. This is a Norman. This was the original. I've still got a few of these in the pack. This one's, like I say, brand new. But somebody else is making some of them. I forget what they call them, but you can find them. I think somebody calls them. Somebody calls one front runner, and they spell front different, PHRONT, something like that. And then I've seen a couple more around, but it's a great little topwater idea. So anyway, I think that's about it. I think I had some more really weird stuff somewhere, but I can't find the box it was in. I have no earthly idea. It's a big old box like one of these. I don't know where it went, but it had some crazy top water plugs in it and stuff like that. But see if I see anything right off handy. Nope, I think it pretty much covers it. Oh, here we go. Haha, dadgummit. This crazy thing. Rebel made this. It's called a Black Star. I think I mentioned this in one before. I call it Darth Vader's stepchild. There's something weird. And then I had the granddaddy version of this on the live well here, I think last year. It's called a Smooth, Bagley Smooth. Got some big, wide, insane wobble to it. Like I say, odds are probably about 90%, 95% that most bass alive today have never seen any of these lures. This little old thin fin. I doubt any bass today's ever seen one of these, so they've seen everything else out there, but they hadn't seen this. So, do some digging. Get on eBay, get some Rebel Deep WeRs, get some 7A bombers, 6A bombers, get some old Rapala Fat Wraps, Wally Diver. I don't know that you can find one of these, but somebody could probably maybe just take a buzz bait, cut part of it to cut it off. But that's a pretty cool idea when you put about a half-ounce rattle trap right there and you got that rig going through the water. I wish I could do an on-the-water demonstration with some of this stuff, but man, if it's too hot to go fishing, it's too hot to go out and make a damn video on the water. Oh, copper spoon. I caught a ton of fish one day on this thing. Copper spoons ain't easy to find. Oh, this here. Castmaster spoon. These things have been around for 50 years because we used to throw one of these in the river out in West Texas trying to catch them big old alligator gar. We had Zebco 33s and 10-pound line, so whenever one would hit, he just keep swimming. I don't even think they knew they were hooked. They would just keep swimming until they spooled us, and that was it. And we didn't have any more line and any more spoons, so we had to take our stuff and go home. But it's a pretty good jigging spoon. It's a little smaller, cast like a friggin' bullet. I don't know what this one weighs. It's got to weigh, I'm gonna say 3/4 of an ounce maybe. But That's another one. I think they're still around. But anyway, I'm done, so I'll go edit this and post it. So later.